I thought I knew her better than anyone. We were partners in every sense, sharing dreams, building a life. Our anniversary was supposed to be a celebration, a moment to reaffirm everything we had built. But when I opened the door to find her in the arms of another man, the world as I knew it shattered. Then she smiled. "It's over between us." Those words cut deeper than any betrayal I could have imagined. And as she stood there, not a hint of regret in her eyes, I knew everything was about to change. But what she didn't realize was that I was about to change too. The soft hum of the city echoed faintly through the windows of the apartment, where the world outside seemed to blur into nothingness. Inside the apartment was bathed in a warm amber light. It was cozy, a space where moments of peace should have been endless. This was our home. A place I had imagined would always be ours, where we built memories together. It was the kind of place where you could forget the world outside, where every corner held fragments of the life we'd promised to share. We were preparing for our anniversary. A year had passed since we stood before each other and promised to make this journey together, no matter what. The world outside was a storm of responsibilities, but inside these walls we created a haven. I set the table. Candles flickered, casting their soft glow across the polished wood. The scent of a meal I had carefully prepared filled the air, mingling with the perfume of fresh flowers I had placed in a vase near the window. It was supposed to be perfect. But even then, I felt a flicker of something off. A shift in her. I couldn't quite place it, but it was there, an undercurrent that left me uneasy. She had been distracted lately. Our conversations felt more distant, her laughter too forced. The late nights spent working, always the excuse. And the strange silence when I touched her. I knew something was off, but I couldn't bear to confront it. I kept telling myself it was nothing. That things would go back to normal. Still I watched her carefully, always looking for signs. And there they were, the small things. The quick glance at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. The way she avoided my touch. The long silences that were no longer comfortable. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. The anniversary dinner went as planned, though there was a strange tension in the air. She smiled at me, but it didn't reach her eyes. She laughed, but it was hollow. There was a moment as we sat across from each other, where I thought I could see the truth in her eyes, the truth I didn't want to face. Then came the phone call. The one I wasn't supposed to overhear. She was in the other room speaking, in hushed tones. I pretended to be absorbed in the wine glass in my hand, but the words slipped through the cracks of the conversation. Names. Promises. Laughter. And then. "I can't wait to see you tonight." I froze. A chill ran through me, sharp and cold. It was as if my heart had suddenly stopped beating. My mind screamed at me, trying to find excuses. Maybe it was a colleague. Maybe it was nothing. But deep down, I knew I wanted to confront her right then. Demand answers, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, I watched her in silence as she returned to the dinner table, too calm, too distant. It wasn't long before the truth hit me full force. She had planned it all along. She had planned it. The door creaked open in front of me. My heart skipped. And there she was in the hallway, locked in an intimate embrace with another man. His hand tangled in her hair, her lips pressed against his. The sight felt surreal, like it couldn't possibly be happening to me. For a moment, time froze. My breath caught in my throat, and then, like a clap of thunder, everything seemed to collapse. She broke away from him, and in that split second, our eyes locked. The realization hit me harder than a physical blow. She saw me. She knew I was standing there. Then she did something I hadn't expected. She smiled. "It's over between us," she said, her voice cold, almost detached. It was as if I were nothing. My mind raced. I felt the burn of humiliation, anger, and betrayal all at once. Every ounce of love I thought I had for her evaporated in that instant. She didn't even look ashamed. She looked liberated. There was a moment, a terrifying moment, where I thought I would break. I felt small, insignificant. But as I stood there, staring at her and the man beside her, a different part of me awoke. The part that had been dormant, beaten down by years of affection and vulnerability. It was the part that knew revenge would be my only redemption. The next few days were a blur. I barely slept. Barely ate. But my mind worked tirelessly. I was methodical, cold, calculating. Each move I made was like a piece of a puzzle, slowly falling into place. I knew the first step I needed to ruin their lives, destroy their illusions. For her, I would make sure the world knew her as the cheater, the liar. For him, I would strip away everything he thought he had, a reputation, a job, a future. I would make them both wish they had never crossed me. But it wasn't just about hurting them. It was about reclaiming what was mine. The power. The control. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I felt alive. The anger fueled me, gave me clarity. The day finally came when it all fell into place. The wife broken. Her lover shattered. Her world crumbled around her as the scandal was exposed. She begged, cried, called me every name under the sun. But it didn't matter anymore. I had taken everything from her. Her reputation. Her dignity. Her comfort. As for him, the man who had stolen what was mine, his career was over. The whispers of what he had done were everywhere. He had no one to blame but himself. And yet, as I watched them both crumble, a strange emptiness filled me. The fire inside me that had burned so bright began to dim and I felt nothing. I had won. I had destroyed them, but the question lingered. Was it worth it? I looked back at what I had become, the person I had transformed into, a shadow of who I once was. And in that darkness I wondered, what had I truly gained? Some betrayals don't break us, they build us into something stronger. But in building myself into this avenger, I lost parts of me I could never get back. Maybe I had won justice. But in the end, I had become something I couldn't recognize. And as I stood there victorious, I realized one thing: revenge had its price. If you've ever faced betrayal, you know that the road to redemption can be long, dark and filled with unexpected twists. What would you have done in my place? Like the video if you think justice was served, or if you believe there's no true victory in revenge. Subscribe for more stories of betrayal, justice, and the cost of our darkest choices.